Hello, Scrappy friends. This is video number 4 that I'm bringing over from Facebook. So there's about 12 videos that I want to bring over from Facebook, and this is one of them. It goes with our Border to Pages series, and so eventually I want to share them over here on YouTube so that you guys can all enjoy them as well. But if you're interested, check the link in the description, and you can pop over to my Facebook group. Every Wednesday I do a workshop Wednesday, and this is where these videos are coming from. This one aired back in March of 2023. So if you've seen this already, then it's probably going to be a great refresher for you. And if you haven't seen it, I hope you enjoy it. So here we go. Hi, Scrappy friends. Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. So as you can see on my desk here, we are going to work today in the Creative Memories 110 Scrapbooking Borders and Idea and Sketches booklet. And we are going to jump right into page 105. So if you have the book, you can follow along. And it's this sketch right here. We're going to take this Christmas border and turn it into a princess, or actually more of a baby theme page. So let me go ahead and pull this up on the screen, and we'll take a closer look at it and break it down according to our formula. Okay, so here on the screen you'll see the sketch and the inspiration. So I like to call it the black and white part is the sketch, and then the colorful part is what I like to refer to as the inspiration. So I always like to break this down into a formula so that you could recreate this using any paper and any embellishments. If we look at it, sometimes looking at the inspiration is a little bit easier because we can see the definition of the pattern paper that they used. So this one, like every border, starts off with a base, and then on top of that base is 3 layers. So you'll see in the inspiration it has the floral print, and that's on that first layer, and that's exactly how I would recommend it on this border, is to use a base, and then your most vibrant or busy piece of paper should be the first layer. And then the second layer is a piece of cardstock, and we're going to follow the same design for today. And then the top layer, which is the third layer, is a white piece, a smaller, thinner piece. Here they used a very muted kind of color, and white with some grid lines on it. And then on top of all that is the punch out. And now the punch out, I am going to start calling it a layer, and then because I think it makes a little more sense if we call that a layer as well. But that's where the punch out would go, and that's the focus of today's video, is the punch out in the middle. So it's a very straightforward border. That what makes it fancy and what makes it so easy to change up besides the paper is the punch out in the middle strip. And then of course the very top is the embellishments. Okay, so that's the breakdown of today's sketch. Well, it's on the screen right here. I want to point out again that punch out in the middle, how it has multiple colors, because we're going to focus a little bit more on that in a bit. So come on back to my desk and I'll show you what I'm going to use. So I am using the Enchanted Princess. This is a new collection by Creative Memories, and this is my first time cutting into it. And I've said this before, if you feel like you're having a hard time cutting into your new paper, maybe think about creating a border, because it allows you to make small cuts out of your paper and gets you going, and kind of takes that oh, I want to hoard this paper for something else. That takes that feeling away from you. So but anyway, so I'm going to have full 12 by 12 pieces of paper, but in this sketch and this inspiration, it really is a great one to use with scraps. Okay, so let me go ahead and change my overhead view so I can include the sketch up here while we're talking. This one, like I said, is very good for using up scraps. You'll see that all those little pieces, and I'm going to give you all the measurements in a moment. So yep, I'm using Enchanted Princess, and let's get to cutting. This one takes 5 different pieces of paper. Okay, I did include 1 cardstock just to kind of tone it down with the paper, but you could replace any of these with any paper. let me put this aside over here, and I'm going to give you actually all the measurements. So we're going to start with the base, and for my base, I'm going to use this blue chevron paper. I'm going to cut this at 2.5 inches by 12 inches. And I just want to make sure this is a directional piece of paper, so you want to check how you're going to want your direction going. So this will be a horizontal border, just like it shows up in our sketch. So I'm going to want it running this direction. So I'm going to put my paper in. I'm going to turn it and put it in this way. So again, 2.5 by 12. And then the first layer, I'm going to use this sparkly star paper. So 2 inches by 12 will be our first layer on top of our base. So it'll look like that. And then here's where I'll be bringing in my cardstock. And this one is eggplant. And I'm going to do this one at 1 3/4. So you'll see we're building up the layers of this border. We're just getting smaller and smaller as we go up. To change this formula up, you could use a decorative blade or some kind of treatment to the edges, which we're going to do on the next piece. I'm going to use this beautiful rainbow paper. I think it's going to be perfect for our third layer. So on my directions, I said this one was 1.5 inches, but now I'm going to make this one 1.25 inches because now I need to make it a little bit smaller than the second layer. This one has a lot of layers. And whoops, before I cut, I do want to change my blade. This is the one we want to add a treatment to. I like what they did in the inspiration by adding the scallop blade, and so I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, what I'm going to do is give it a little bit of a waist cut at the edge over here to get my scallop started. And then I'm going to turn my paper, and now I'm going to cut it at 1 1/4. So this measurement will be changed as well. Now I turned my paper to face my scallops inside so that when I use the scallop blade, it should give me scallops on both sides. So those are the base. I'm using the beaded oval for mine today. This I would consider a very generic border, whereas in the inspiration they used a more of a theme in theirs was Christmas, so they use a Christmas. I wanted to change it up and do something a little bit more generic because the photos I'm going to scrap today are basically just a little photo shoot of my daughter when she was a baby. So let me go ahead and get all this assembled, and then we'll get to the punch. Now we're going to get to the punch out. So when you're deciding on a punch out for this type of border, when I decided to do this border, I thought this is definitely a go-to border. You can do this with any design. Up to this point, it's just paper, and then here's where you're going to put in your design. So you really could do this with any border or any theme page. Okay, so I'm going to bring in this purple crown paper, and for the punch out, to get the design, I want it similar to what they have up here in the inspiration, which is multiple colors. Now they use 3 colors. Today I'm only going to use 2. I do recommend 3 because I think that looks beautiful, but for my punch out today, I'm just going to do 2. So for each color that you want, you would want to punch out an additional border. And I will adhere the purple one first. Just centering it. And then with this blue piece, I'm just going to trim them off of the strip. So on this particular border, I want the little edge piece there. So I'm going to just trim that and then trim it on this side as well. For every one that I trim, that one's gonna become trash, and then do another one. Okay, basically we just want to do every other one, or if you make up any for however many colors you want. I'm just going to layer it right on top just to bring out the second color, and that's exactly what they did in the inspiration piece as well. Now I am going to come to this edge and do this one first. So I always like to mention that if you don't have the book, that you can get these sketches and written directions on the blog. So don't feel like you have to have the book. The center part's going to be covered up with our embellishments, but I'm going to put it on there just in case. I have it here. I might as well use it. And then that way I don't feel like I have to place my embellishments any certain way. Let's get to embellishing this, and then we're going to make it into a very quick and easy page layout. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the stickers. The first time I'm popping into these too. So let's see, what do we have here? I want to give it a title, something big and bulky like they show in the inspiration. So I'm going to go with this one down here. It says, "Life itself is the most wonderful fairy tale of all." And I think that's going to be really appropriate for my photos. So let me put some foam tape on this really fast. And it also gives me opportunity to play with it and move it around once I put it on some foam tape. So there we go. I'm okay with it protruding off the edge of the border, but if you didn't want that, you can always tilt it, move it around, however you need to do. You see how it covered up that blue one in the center? Totally fine. A flower, the flower is super cute. I think there's only one rose, so we'll kind of have that coming out to the side. I do like the wand, the princess wand. Maybe I'll tuck that behind the flower, like something like that. I like that. Maybe a couple hearts. I like the blue one, and I like this pink and yellowish ombre one. Attach them together, and then maybe just place them down on that side. So I have something on both sides. Yeah, I like that. Let me go ahead and commit. Okay. I do want a little tilt to it, but not much. There we go. And there we go. That is our border, changing it from using candy canes into our beaded oval. Another use for our beaded oval. Let me put that aside. And I'm going to bring in my page and my photos. So I already have my background together. I used just a piece of, this is actually aqua and purple from the Purple Ice tone on tone paper. And I made a frame style. So I just gutted the purple and added and cut the aqua down to an 11.5 inch by 11.5 inch square. Okay, and then for my photos, like I said, it's going to be a photo shoot of my daughter when she was a baby. This is going to go actually in our family album. You can see this is a lot of photos of the same day, but they're super cute. So how do you get rid of them or not put them in an album, right? So there we go. It's going to be very photo heavy, but that's okay. That's another reason we use borders, right? Is so that we could then make our layout super photo heavy. And that's how I want to do it with this one. It doesn't leave me much room to embellish, but I do want to add one more embellishing spot. But before I do, I wanted to give you one other tip about the beaded oval. So if you have the beaded oval, now I left it open in the center because I had very mild paper in the background and I don't mind it showing through. But if you wanted to back the oval, you could use your smallest oval custom cutting template with the green blade on the inside, and that oval that comes out, it's going to fit just perfectly behind the oval from the punch out, and then you can back them. I just wanted to throw that tip in because if you didn't know which one would do it, it's the smallest oval with the green blade. So what I'm going to do for embellishing elsewhere on this page is bring in my custom cutting system. That's why I remembered. I wanted to give that tip. And I'm going to bring in my oval, right? If you don't know what you want to do for embellishing, think about what you already have done. And here I used ovals. I want to do an embellishment. Probably, I'm going to do it right down here in this corner. And I need a base to put it on. So I'm going to use an oval shape because it'll match my ovals up here. And I'm going to bring back in the crown paper that I used up in the border. And I'm going to, this template is, if you had them all lined up in a row from smallest to largest, this would be the third one. And I'm going to use my green blade on the inside, so I want to conserve as much paper as possible. Okay, and so that's going to be my cluster base right down there. Okay, so let's work right here and bring back in our stickers. I also have since I had the purple out, I left those stickers here because I love those word stickers. I like the unicorn. I like the unicorn because it's very colorful. And I'm okay going up into this photo. It has that big yellow ball in it, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to just lightly put it down for a minute and just before I decide for sure, because it will touch my photo there. And then I think I'm going to also use this mirror because again, it's an oval shape, keeping with my ovals, but I don't want the handle. I just want the oval shape, so I'm going to trim that right off. This one says Little Darling, which I thought was again appropriate for the photos. I'm going to pop this one up onto some foam tape as well, and then it will go like this. Probably I want to do one more thing, maybe add some words. Let's see, there's some good ones on here. Laugh more, a day in the life. That's cute. Might be a little big. Simply the best, always in my heart. Oh, that's a good one. Let's party. At first I thought it said let's play because that would have been super cute. Maybe laugh more. You can stick that right out from here. Actually, this little star here is super cute. And I'll get that all adhered down so it was not moving around. There we go. Okay, let me go ahead and switch back to the first overhead so I can clean up everything out of the way so you can get a full view of what it looks like. There we go. We did it. We took a Christmas border, turned it into a princessy baby type layout. I love it. You know what I just thought of? This looks like those little pop beads that babies play with a lot. I added 6 photos. Of course, I've cropped these all down, and when I started cropping them, they were starting to all measure about the same. I believe it's 4 inches. Yeah, it's 4 inches tall by 3.5 inches wide, and I like it because I still have room. I can tuck them closer together and have a little bit of the background piece showing through. That's the whole idea of the sketchbook, right? We can recreate what they did, that's awesome, but we should also be thinking how we can use it in other projects. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining me today. I appreciate your time. That was really fun creating with you. And until next time, take care everyone. Bye-bye.